Hello! Welcome to DIY is my happy place. I'm Amy, and today we're talking Halloween. I just love making Halloween decor. Do you? I love making it. I love decorating my house, and especially when it's on a tight budget and it doesn't take forever to do. I got a good one for you today. So let's have some fun. Oh, I found these darling hats at the Dollar Tree, and I was just thinking to myself, these would make really cute gnomes with this wire pumpkin. And so I'm going to be using Dollar Tree supplies. Now, some of the items that I have, I got a while ago. I got this tree skirt from the Dollar Tree years, maybe 3 years ago, and I've been using little pieces of the fabric for different craft projects, but we're going to use some today too. And I have some pool noodles left over from a gnome that I did prior. And I'm going to use this pool noodle to make my nose. And I want it to, because I want it to be really big. Now I made one with a black sock that I got from the Dollar Tree. It's one of those sparkly socks. And this is just a leftover piece of fabric that, again, I had left over from a previous gnome that I made. And that's going to be the nose. So basically I take the pool noodle and then a little napkin to make sure that it's rounded on the top. And then I'm going to make a pink one out of a glove from the Dollar Tree. Now I'm going to cut off the fingers and I'll save those for another gnome because I use those for my little gnomes as mittens. So I really don't waste anything. I'm sorry about the little lights that are on my hands. I didn't realize that the sunlight was coming through the blinds and giving me little sparkles on my hands, but it will go away hopefully in a minute. Okay, now I'm going to take my tree skirt that was my Halloween colors, purple, and I'm going to glue it tightly onto my pumpkin wire, and this will be the main head of the gnome. So I'm just cutting off all the pieces that I'm not going to be using. I love this purple edging, and I'm sure I will come up with something to use that for in a future project. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it off, and I'll just use the main purple with the darker purple lines fabric. So how I'm going to get this attached to this wire is I'm just going to hot glue it, and it really loves to be able to be glued. The fabric glues really well. Now I am using my Gorilla Glue gun that has two heat settings, and I'm using the lower heat because I don't want it to melt this kind of, it's a little bit shimmery fabric. So I'm using it on the low heat, plus it makes it easier so I don't burn my fingers as I'm putting these two pieces of fabric together. So I'm just making sure that all the edges fit around, that I didn't cut my fabric too short. And so I'm doing all the edges, and then once I get one side done, then I can glue the other side and pull it tight. So all the wrinkles will not show up at all. So I found that it's easiest if you kind of glue the four corners. I know this doesn't have corners, but you get what I'm saying. The four outer edges first to make sure that they all fit around nicely, and then go around and start finishing up the rest of the edges. And it's really quick and easy. Look at that. See? No wrinkles. Now, we need our nose to be in the center of the head, and this hat is going to be too far away from the wall in order to hang it, or on the door. So I'm going to use part of the pool noodle to hold it in place, to give the hat a place so it doesn't start caving in, so to speak. So I just cut off another piece of the pool noodle, and I'll glue all of that together. It's so funny when I am in the Dollar Tree and I see a few items and I think, oh, okay, if I just put this with this and so on, then that can become a gnome. I believe this is going to be the largest gnome head I have ever done, but this is the thing. I wanted to have something on the front door, and I didn't want it to be just this little tiny gnome because that would look awkward. And I didn't want to do a wreath. I mean, I just wanted to do something different. So that's why I'm doing two great big gnomes to be on the front double doors. So I'm really excited, hoping these are going to work out as my mind is imagining them. Now I'm using the other, I always have two hot glue guns going at the same time because sometimes I just want great big globs of glue. And so I have my bigger glue gun with the big glue sticks, and then my Gorilla Glue gun. I like that one because it can get into the fine little points. So yeah, that's why I always have two hot glue guns running at the same time. Now for my nose, I just give it a generous amount of glue and a little bit more from the hot glue, or from the Gorilla Glue, sorry. And then I'll just glue that right on to the main face of this gnome. Now this raffia that I got, I have not seen this at the Dollar Tree for a while. So I think I actually ended up picking this particular package up from maybe Walmart. So some things are not in the Dollar Tree year round. So you just kind of get what you get. Okay, so I'm just gluing that on. It does kind of make a mess, so I'm trying to get every little piece glued down somewhere. And then I'll glue the hat right onto the pool noodle so that it will hold its position. And then I'll just keep on adding more raffia all around the back of the head. And like I say, glue, glue, glue. It will still probably shed every time I am putting it away, but that's why the best thing to do is to give it as much glue as possible. And just to be on the safe side, I'm going to go ahead and cut the pool noodle again and give it two pieces so that this hat is not going to go anywhere. So I'll glue that on, and then I'll give it an attachment to be able to hang from a nail or a hook. Now you can do a beard and make a male gnome, but I just thought it would be really fun to make a witch gnome with girl hair, and I just thought it looked cute this way. Now you could use different colors of raffia. I have some that's pink or purple or orange that you can get in the floral section of different types of floral raffia type stuff. Okay, now I'm going to use a couple of popsicle sticks to help give this a little bit of a finish on the back. And even though this is the back side and it doesn't really matter, sometimes I really like to make them look nicer. So I'm going to add those sticks. I'm gluing on a paper clip to use as my hook. And then since I had some of that fancy fabric still left, I'm going to just glue some on the back side to give it a finish. And it'll just make me happy. Now I may come back and add some raffia to the pool noodle and fill that in so that it looks more like its hair and part of its head. And then I found these cute little signs. There was nothing that needed to be done with it. They come two for $1, and I'll show you that in a minute. Now for my second witch's gnome, I got a scarf also from the Dollar Tree, and it's kind of a stretchy fabric and fluffy. I just really like it, and I thought, you know what, that would make a really cute face. So I'm just going to glue this on just like I did the other one. And the beauty of this is it's just so pliable. You can just form it around wherever you want. I remember I was walking through the Dollar Tree and I saw this scarf and I just had to have it. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to use it for. I know it's going to be something gnome related because I love the fuzzy pink color, but I didn't know what, so I've been holding off. I have used it in the past with as some hair for one of my gnomes, but I had this piece still left over and I was just thinking, oh, I got to use this up because it's so fabulous. I know sometimes my dear hubby just cannot comprehend that I'm keeping some little piece of fabric here or there. So I have to hurry and get it put in my cute little containers and stored away nicely, or otherwise it looks like trash and it might get thrown away. But luckily I have trained him to not even bother trying to clean my craft room because he doesn't know what is trash and what's treasures for me. And definitely I have a garbage can right underneath the area that I do all my crafting, and there has been times that I have pulled something out of the trash even and thought, hey, this would work perfect for this or that. So yes, trash to treasure is my specialty. All right, I'm just going to continue gluing all the way around, and then look at how fantastic this scarf is. It just stretches out, and I can keep on moving around until it's all glued down. Now, of course, I'm going to save this little excess piece of fabric because who knows, I might come up with something else for it. We'll see. Okay, it's coming together. Now look at that. Voila! Isn't that the perfect little gnome face? Okay, I have my pink glove. Of course, I need to cut those fingers off. And then my nose is going to be perfect. I love to look at different things and think, that could be a gnome nose. I even looked at the pumpkin that you see off camera just a little bit here on the right, and I was thinking, hey, that could be a gnome nose, but that would have to be a really big gnome. Okay, now I love mesh tubing. I use this for so many things, but I definitely love using it for hair on my gnomes. And I'm going to show you a little trick that'll make this really fast and real easy. The Dollar Tree carries this mesh tubing, and they have different colors at different seasons, and I tend to collect the different colors. This white was actually left over from Christmas last year, I think. And so I picked it up a while ago, and then I'm also going to use some different Halloween colors. Now I'm taking my pipe cleaners and I'm wrapping it around. I'm not taking the tubing apart. Right where it's already tied, I'm going to do 2 pipe cleaner strips around, because I'm going to cut it and make it into 2 sections. And I don't want to have to cut all these different strands and try to get them the right size and whatever. So I'm just going to hold them together at the top in 2 places, and I'll show you why in just a minute. And then I can cut the bottoms, and they don't have to be all exactly the same size, but they need to be somewhat the same size so it looks like hair. And now I have it strung out like that. Now I'm going to cut the tie that comes with it. It's plastic and it can't be hot glued, so that's why that tie won't work. It needs something stronger, and the pipe cleaners work perfectly. Now I'm going to add some hot glue on both sides of the pipe cleaner because the tubing might try to slip out of it when I cut it in half. So the other thing that I'm going to need is a piece of my pool noodle to hold the hat up. And since I have some of this fabric left over, I'm going to go ahead and glue it around my pool noodle. That will help hold my hat into the right position when it is completed. So as I let the tubing hot glue dry, I go ahead and move over to this. That's why I move back and forth from one project to the others. I'm just waiting for the hot glue to dry on those. So I'm going to glue this onto my hat, and now you can see how that will hold up, and I can put a little hanger on the back of it, and it will be able to be attached to the wall or to the door or wherever I'm going to show my lovely gnome decoration. Now I'm using a fancy clip which is a paper clip. I'm just going to glue that down nice and solid, and that will be how it will hook onto the wall or the door. I can't believe how much I love this gnome with the scarf fabric. Just the fuzziness of it is so cute. I love it. And I know I'm doing a witch gnome, but really I could do the same idea and make it cute any holiday. And so, okay, now that that tubing has dried really well with the hot glue, I'm going to cut that in half, and then I'll give a generous amount of hot glue onto it so that I can glue that up under. I don't want the little pieces to start slipping out. And look at that. It's going to have cute little white hair. And as soon as I started putting this together, I realized I kind of want some more color in there. The white is kind of a little bit disappearing with the pink. So I think I will put a few layers of different colors of tubing under it, and it'll be kind of like a two-toned hair colored witch. Love it. So I'm going to do the same process, but with some purple tubing, as far as using the pipe cleaners to attach them into two different places, and then I'll just attach purple tubing all over the back of it and kind of glue it down. I did find these cute little witch signs, and they're so cute. They need nothing. They come two in a package at the Dollar Tree. So I was like, oh, I can just add a little saying to go right on the hat. And look how easy this is. I don't have to add any extra work to it. I can just glue this straight onto my hat, finish gluing down the hair, and voila. That's all there is to it. Each of these gnome witches gets their own fun glittery sign, and they can hang side by side, or they can each have their own world on a door or on a wall in your home. I love it. What do you think? Woo! That was fun. Who doesn't love Halloween? I just love it and can't get enough. And I got a few more ideas rolling around in my head that are coming up soon. So I'll see you on the other side. See ya.